Good morning. Welcome Beyond the SEAF model. My name is Jack Kosar. This is effective for the week of July 14th, 2025. Let's get started. I'm back. We got top three this week are utilities, industrials, and technology. Utilities, industrials coming in new this week, and our streak of technology continues a bit. A little bit of a prelude to the trading week, but I'll explain to you why while that is a low score, less important once we hit that heat map. Similar scores here, I guess 9 and 12, 12, so a little bit higher than we'd like to see when things are really kind of ripping and roaring. Consumer discretionary kind of falling off the track here. Healthcare continues to be near the bottom. And energy showing a little bit of life. We'll kind of take a look at that in just a minute. Heading into our heat map. Utilities coming in the top spot. I just want to note here, incoming value at 0.21%. If you listen to my videos all the time, we talk about that 0.4% being the real kind of measure to show conviction here, so we're not seeing a ton of money moving into utilities, but it is our top spot this week, and not falling too far behind is energy at 0.19%. In terms of these outflows, they're showing dark red. Now, the reason they're showing dark red is this really kind of goes on the scale of what the inflows and outflows are for a particular trading week, tactical month, strategic quarter. So what you're seeing here is they're dark green here, but that's only 0.21%. Now, the biggest outflow here is a consumer discretion, and that's at negative 0.12. Very tight range, not a lot of money flows. Overall, we were down 0.92%. We are now on a 12-day streak of having no movements over over or below 1%, either positive or negative. We had a 25-day streak going that ended in late June. So still overall relatively light flows. Industrials and materials here are near zero on their trading week. Industrials kind of showing strength over the course of multiple time periods. While we are seeing a 10 in technology, it was not a very strong outflow. It was just lower than everything else. What does this mean? This could, when I see the heat map kind of start to show these sprinklings of greens and reds throughout, not really showing strong greens across the top, sometimes that indicates to us that we're in a transition. We're going to start to see the broader market shift to where it sees the value. This could also just be a breather for technology. Technology's had quite a long run here. We've seen some really nice relative performance that we're going to check out in a minute in the rainbow chart. But overall, we don't know what this is yet. It's definitely a wait and see. But we are starting to see some shifting in the heat map itself. That also dictates by the higher scores that we're seeing. When there's conviction, we have one in the 3 to 5 range in terms of overall ranking score, and a couple in the 7 or 8. We're seeing some little bit higher scores here with a 9, 12, and 12 respectively for utilities, technology, and industrials. Wanted ahead. I really like this total sector total net asset chart. What we have here up top is if you add up the total net assets for the 11 sector spiders, and you create a single number, you get this chart on top. On the bottom here, it's just the S&P 500. Why am I showing you this? In general, we have a 21-day moving average here with the total net assets. When we are above that 21-day moving average, we tend to see price appreciation in the S&P 500. When we are below that 21-day moving average, we tend to see price depreciation, so prices going down. This has been a relatively good indicator. You can see here we're going back to August of 2024. Spurts above 21-day moving average are showing nice price appreciation, under showing price depreciation. So, we're still on this run. We track a little bit closer to the 21-day moving average a couple of times, but we've stayed above it, and we've had a nice run in the S&P 500 since. Seeming a little bit of a stall out here as flows are continuing the slow descent. But overall, staying strong, well above that 21-day moving average. We're going to keep an eye on this chart. But as long as we see us above this 21-day moving average, the chart indicates that we are in good shape in terms of the S&P 500. Heading into our rainbow charts. Technology. Like I said, I had a little bit of a, technology has been sitting in this upper favor for quite a bit of time here. We've had a little bit of brief interludes coming down to lower favored. We are on a nice long run for this relative performance for technology. So, like I said, as we looked at the heat map, that money coming off, it wasn't a super strong outflow for technology, even though it was ranked 10. That's why I like to do a little bit more of a deep dive into these numbers, because certain things can be deceiving. We have a little bit of a turn down of the relative performance versus SPY here at the bottom, but overall, again, still nice, strong run. We are still in favor. This is going to be a waiting to see. Do we have flows fund back into technology, or is this starting a trend? Is this thing going to come over? We don't know yet. We don't project cash flows, or we don't project asset flows here for any of these sector spiders, but we are tracking them, and we do have an algorithm that watches them. So we will see how this portrays, but overall technology is still looking strong. Financials. The reason I brought up financials was third on the week, and we show kind of a positive bias. We're going 10 to 6 to 3. I'm bringing up my heat map real quick so you can see. So we go 10 to 6 to 3. Now again, wasn't super strong flows for the number 3 spot in the trading week. Only 0.04, so pretty close to zero. Nothing to do yet. We're creeping ourselves back up into neutral. We seem to have created a little bit of a support base here on the relative performance chart. But we will definitely need to see a lot stronger flows in financials to really get this thing going on the positive side. There isn't even a leadoff to hit here. Sometimes I like to try to say, hey, we're seeing some real strength here. Nothing to do yet. We have not seen any asset accumulation over the 3 time periods. Just starting to see that positive flow, like I said, from 10 to 6 to 3. So watch this space, but nothing to do yet here with financials. Similar thing with energy. Energy at a 2, we're going from an 8 to 5 to 2 in terms of the ranking. I do like to see those positive momentum starting to show up, but 0.19% was not super strong, did not create a lot of relative performance. And, as we talked about, energy has done this to us several times where we kind of really accelerate into favor. A lot of money starts to flow in. It'll be interesting to see what happens for next week. And then that money disappears and flows out aggressively. You can see this happen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the last year where we have spiked up. We have gotten little spurts of relative outperformance, but nothing has stuck. So, and I've shown this in the past. I don't have it prepared today. But if you look at the price chart for energy, there are some major resistance levels that we just can't seem to break through. There hasn't been the capital or the desire or the demand to get us over those particular levels. So nothing here for energy either. Utilities. Utilities spiked up, 1 on the trading week, 2 in the tactical month. And still wait to see a little bit on the strategic quarter when we haven't seen as much accumulation, but we have some kind of jumped up here. Waiting to see some relative outperformance here in utilities. A really good, strong week could get us there in terms of trading week flows. But if we're in this transitionary period, we do see things tend to rise to the top. Even if it's not on the strongest flows. Right now, utility has the best on the trading week, second best on the trading month. We have to see what goes on with utilities. Industrials has been on a nice run in terms of its relative outperformance versus SPY. Nice upward trend starting going back from December of 2024. Sitting into favored. Industrials, again, kind of not super strong on the trading week, but overall seeing better flows than other sectors right now. Seeing a little bit of relative outperformance. Would like to see a really strong week next week this upcoming week in terms of flows to kind of project this thing up into that upper favor. That's when we really see the nice runs, as you can see here that we had from April to May. Nice relative outperformance as we kind of trajected ourselves into that upper favored. Looking for that for industrials as well. And last but certainly least, healthcare. Healthcare staying in that avoid, really underperforming. We had that brief interlude in terms of early part of 2025 that got us up into upper favor for a nice little relative outperformance spike, but overall downward trend continues. for healthcare, and it continues to be a void and a place to not see any life yet. I'm happy to be back, and I look forward to breaking down the SEAF model with you all next week. Thank you.